What's going on YouTube? So with today's video, we're going to be diving into the British brand of Atkinsons. I'm the only guy that pretty much talks about this brand, and a lot of y'all got to start looking into it because they do produce some really good fragrances for a good price. But because that this is a British brand, I got a gentleman, because that's what he is, of true British blood. And that is Chris from the channel Frag-Mental. And today we're going to be talking about Atkinsons The Excelsior Bouquet. This fragrance was launched in 2015 and is classed as a leather fragrance. It's also marketed as unisex. But before I give you my take, Chris, please give us yours.
Hey Chad, and hello to all Chad's viewers. I thought I'd come outside for you, Chad, because I know you like it when I film outside, and I know you love England and the history of England. This is the Museum Gardens here in York, so this is an old ruined abbey here behind me, so I thought it'd make a nice backdrop. So we're here to talk about the Excelsior Bouquet from Atkinsons. I know it's a brand that you really like. I've not had that much experience with them, but the ones I've smelled, I've enjoyed. So you very kindly had this sample sent to me. I've been wearing it for the last 2 weeks now, and I'm just going to remind myself of it here. So I've got to say, I've really been enjoying it. As you would imagine from the name, Excelsior Bouquet, it is quite a floral fragrance, but it's quite green as well. So it opens with this sparkling, bright green quality, but it's smooth. It's not a sharp, bitter green. I don't like those types of fragrances. There's a smoothness to it, almost like there's some musks in here just smoothing things out, but it's bright, it's green, it sparkles, and there's a really nice freshness to it, which makes me think of standing on top of a mountain and just taking in a deep breath of that fresh air, you know, that invigorating fresh air. And I think there are aldehydes in here, which is why I'm getting this fresh, invigorating aspect to it. And the other thing I really like about this is the leather. Now, it's not a strong leather accord, it's not too overpowering. I think probably most people wouldn't immediately think there is leather in here, but because I know it's in here from the notes, I feel like it's adding this robust quality to the fragrance. It's giving it some depth. I think without the leather, it perhaps would just be a very fleeting, very thin fragrance. I mean, it's not a heavy, overpowering fragrance as it is, so without the leather, I think it would be even thinner. But because of the leather, it just adds this quality, this depth, and I love that it ties in with the story, with the pilots taking flight. So the leather represents the leather of the pilots' jackets, and the aldehydes represents the fresh air of being up in the skies. So it's a very refined, very sophisticated fragrance, very gentlemanly. There's a flint accord in here, or some sort of mineralic accord, and it's that sort of smell that reminds me of when I was a kid. I used to bang two stones together and it would create that heat and that friction and the smell of the minerals from the two rocks banging together. So there's this slight mineralic metallic edge, which I think lends a nice contemporary feel to the fragrance, but it's not too much. It's not an accord that I don't like. I think it all hangs together really nicely. It's a very enjoyable smell. It's quality. It smells like it's really nicely blended. It smells like there's good quality materials in here. Performance is, for me, probably the worst thing about this fragrance. I didn't get great performance. It pretty much stayed as a skin scent, even from the first spray. So I have it in my hand here and I'm not really getting strong wafts of it. So it does stay quite close all the way through. And obviously, as it dries down, as time goes on, it is just a very light skin scent. And after 5 or 6 hours, I've kind of lost it, really. So performance isn't great, but I think if you were wearing this, you were wearing a suit on a hot summer's day, so that helps with the projection as the skin's nice and warm, I think that would be okay. But yeah, not great performance. I think this one would definitely be a warm spring day or a summer day type of fragrance. It's not feminine at all. That's one thing I was worried about before I smelled it, with it being called the Excelsior Bouquet, but it is unisex. I think a man can pull this off and it can come off as masculine. I think a female can pull it off, but it's definitely not a female smelling floral fragrance. I like this, I enjoy it, it's very pleasant, it doesn't offend me in the slightest, no problem wearing it. It just doesn't wow me enough for me to really get excited about it. So it's not one that I would personally want a full bottle. I wouldn't pay full price. I think here in the UK I can even get it for under £60. It's sort of £58 I think, which I know is a great price for Atkinsons, but I still don't think I would pay that price for it. So really enjoyable scent. I've enjoyed checking this one out, but it just doesn't blow me away at all. So interested to hear your thoughts. Thanks for having me on your channel again, Chad. It's always nice to collab with you. Back to you.
Chris, I really do appreciate your take, your time, and your friendship. The note breakdown for Atkinsons The Excelsior Bouquet. Top notes are going to be sage and flint with the mid being spices, and the base is leather and vetiver. So what do I get out of this fragrance here? In the opening, it opens up very bright, very green, and very fresh. I don't get the flint, but I most certainly get the sage. The sage gives it that green, herbaceous component, but you would also think that there's some citruses to this one here. The freshness is pretty much there from top to bottom, so from start to finish. Then throw in a little bit of spices, not a whole lot. Then towards like a couple hours later, that's when the leather and the vetiver do come into play. The leather in this is not rough and tough. It's very smooth. I thought that this was gonna kind of become like a Tom Ford Tuscan leather. No, this is definitely not. There is some nuances or comparisons to Tom Ford Grey Vetiver EDT, and people on Frag-Mental have stated that. I could see that. Throw in that fresh herbaceousness, the brightness from Tom Ford with that vetiver, and that's what you get, but throw in a little bit of leather and it becomes its own scent. So there is some similarities to it, but I would say probably like a 40%, then it kind of goes along, it's like it turns into something else. This scent is masculine. I think it's more of a manly scent, not really for like the ladies, even though it is considered unisex, but ladies, if you want to wear it, by all means. I just find that this dives more so towards the gentleman out there. And this is a gentleman's fragrance. This is not a frat boy or douchebag. So why am I wearing it? I have no idea. This is through and through a gentleman's fragrance. Someone also said that it smells posh. In some ways, it kind of does. This also kind of reminds me of another Atkinsons fragrance, and that is Posh on the Green. This one is just a little bit more gentlemanly, somewhat classical but modern, and Posh on the Green, in all fairness, is that as well. I think it's more of a fougere scent. This is not. So when to wear it? This is more of a spring and fall kind of scent, yet I do think that you can wear this in the summertime. Not when it's overly hot, but when it's like a cooler summer day. Just that green, fresh, herbal component, I think that you can pull it off in the summertime. The leather is not overly pronounced. It's not like a slap to the face with a leather glove. Versatility, this is a great signature scent. It's quite versatile, but this is more so for an older man, yet someone who's in their late 20s, who has refined taste, who is more mature than what they really are, can pull this one off very easily. But this is a fragrance where you have to have that sense of style, like business casual to a black tie to a tuxedo event. Yet this is more of a daytime than a nighttime fragrance. Longevity was fantastic, was 10 hours, and projection was more so moderate. Price tag for this. Retail is way too much. Online, right now, on Fragrance.net, you can get this between $100 and $110 Canadian. I think it's Fragrance.net. It's one of the online discounters, but $100 and $110 Canadian. USD, that's $80 to $90 American, and when you convert that to quid, that's 60 pounds. That is an amazing deal. It smells more expensive than the 100 pounds that you're paying for. Wife's thoughts on this fragrance. The wife said that the sage is very upfront, it's very prominent. So the sage is very strong to her nose. It's very masculine. She does not think that this is a woman's scent at all. She finds it's more of a gentleman's fragrance, a gentleman, she said, but she does like it. She does think though that it could be a little strong, so less is more on the applications. So my final thoughts of Atkinsons The Excelsior Bouquet. Just by the name itself, I thought that this was going to be heavier in florals. I thought there was going to be like a floral note, but apparently there's not. This is class, sophistication, gentility. So this is a gentleman's scent. Masculine, if I haven't said it, which I already did, but it's fresh, it's green. It's a great signature, versatile fragrance for this time of the year, springtime. Longevity, fantastic. Price tag online is incredible. You're paying for what you're getting. You're underpaying because there's quality to this one here. This will look good. This will look great, I should say, on your shelf, especially if you're a collector. If you like fine fragrances, fine looking bottles that are classical and slightly, they might look a little dated, but something that's classic, something that's elegant, this is gonna look great on your shelf. Rating out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. This is one that I'm glad I got. It was worth every single penny, and I think I spent maybe $160 Canadian. Blind buy too, and it was worth every cent. For me to pull this one off, I most certainly have to act my age and not like the free-spirited goofball that so many people know me as. So guys, that is my take, but also Chris's take of Atkinsons The Excelsior Bouquet. Any other reviews that I've done from this brand, as usual, will be in the description below. Oh boy, Canada geese are coming. Chris, if you want them, you can have them because they are disgusting ass creatures. So if you want to see some other great niche reviews, then please check out this side here. And if you want to check out other reviews, then please check out this side here. Guys, make sure to check out Chris. His links will be down below. So guys, thank you for your time. Take care, and we'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everyone.